YouTube modeling land. Welcome to a new project and a new year. Hope everyone had a great New Year's celebration and New Year's Day. I'm kind of behind on getting a new project video up. I'd been intending to do one actually ever since New Year's Day, and my wife had other ideas for a few of those days, and we did some landscaping and some pre-spring preparation and flower bed outside. So we put some mulch down and that kind of thing, getting ready for spring. And so I hadn't really had a chance to sit down and put a video together. But here's the new project. That's what I'll be doing. The Revell 68 Dodge Dart. I will be doing the excuse me. I'll be doing the Hemi Dart version. It's a 2-in-1. You can either do the GTS, the stock GTS version, or the Hemi Dart Super Stock version. Now I will be doing the super stock version, but it will not be this one. It will not look like this one. I will be doing this version. I will be actually doing a one-to-one car of Larry Griffith, who was if you're not a NHRA drag racing or just a drag racing fan in general from the 60s and 70s, you probably won't know who he is, and even if you are, you still may not know who he is. I actually got to see him race this car that you see here at a track just north of here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, back when I was, well, in '68, I would have been 7 years old. So, and I get to see the car up close, and I always liked it. I always thought it was just the coolest car because it reminded me of like an old lady's car. But it had, you dare not be fooled with the engine that it had in it. The cross ram Hemi that was built strictly for the track. So, and I'm gonna take this away because it has the glare on the camera. So. In 1968, Chrysler they had intended to put out 50 Dodge Darts and 50 Plymouth Barracudas, strictly for the racing world. They were stripped down to nothing but a body, 2 front seats, and a steering wheel and a roll cage for all practical purposes in the engine. They were no back seat, heater delete, radio delete, no window cranks, fiberglass fenders, fiberglass hood, everything that you could possibly do to one to stay within super stock regulations. And I did at one time know those pretty well, and I've over the years have forgotten them. You had to build at least 50 of any kind of car that was going to be considered raced in either the stock, street stock, super stock. I'm not real sure about pro stock. Pro stock in 1968, pro stock hadn't really hadn't got off the ground. It was like 1970 before the pro stock class actually, I think, became a sanctioned class in the NHRA. It might have been 69, I'm not sure, I'd have to double check. But at any rate, this was the car, stock-wise, to beat, was the Hemi Darts and Barracudas. As a matter of fact, after these cars came into the NHRA eventually was forced to come up with a class. It was called SSAH, which was super stock. I believe AH stood for all Hemi, and it was populated by only Darts and Barracudas. Mainly because when these cars first came out and started racing, there was nothing that could touch them. I mean, these cars weighed, they were super lightweight. They had the great big Hemi with the cross ram induction. which is kind of like the 65 Max wedge, you know, the cross ram setup in it. And it was, I mean, it was a ton of motor for, you know, a very lightweight car. So there wasn't a lot of cars that could keep up with it. So they eventually just made a class for them strictly of their own. And like I said, there was they were made by Chrysler at the factory, put together, and then they were sent to the, and I've checked my facts with my pal Chris at Classic Plastic. He's the kind of my go-to guy for the Mopar stuff. I mean, I know some, but not nearly as much as he does. He and his dad have had Mopar products all, you know, his life. So, and they were sent, I believe, to the Hurst company and the Hurst shifter company. They were the ones who put the Hemi engine in the car itself. And one way that you could tell, or you can still tell if you get lucky enough to find one, that you have an original one, is that when they went to put the Hemi engine in the engine bays of these cars, they were a bear to get in because there just wasn't, you know, very little room for that size motor. So they beat and banged on the fender wells with hammers and the shock towers. And if you were to have one, or someone told you that they had one for sale, one thing you can do to check and know that you're getting the real deal is if those hammer marks are not, I believe it's the left shock tower that was the one that gave them the most fits from what I read. If those hammer marks are not there, then you have a clone. You don't have an original Hemi Dart or Barracuda that came. I think the Dart was one they had the most trouble with. You don't have an original one, you have a clone. So, and like I said, no heater, no radio, no window cranks. It's interesting, on the window crank deal, they used a seatbelt strap that was affixed to the glass, and that's how you pull the window up and down, because you had to have, it had, super stock rules said you had to have so much of the car, and it had to be 50 of the car, of that style car or that model car that was going to be raced, that had to be actually made from the factory. So they used seatbelt straps to raise and lower the window, the side window glasses up and down. So I thought that was kind of neat. Let me see if there's anything else I want to tell you about it. That's pretty much it. It was just, you know, it was just a whole lot of car, a whole lot of engine for a lot of, you know, for a lightweight car, and it was hell on the track. Like I said, it looks like your grandmother's go to church and go get groceries car, and if you know, if you could put a street legal Hemi in it and tone it down, and you know, you didn't put the Kragers on it, just had, you know, stock factory wheels on it, you could hurt some guys' feelings real bad, and, you know, kind of go under the radar and not have it all, you know, jacked up and all that, where it didn't, you know, kind of go incognito. You could really hurt some people's feelings with this car. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be using Testors Aztec acrylic paints. The actual car color of this car, and I already have my decals, my aftermarket decals from Slicks Decals. The actual color of this car is called it's a Oriental Candy Blue, and about the only place I have found that has that actual color is House of Color. And you know, a 2-ounce bottle for $10, which, you know, I don't mind spending that, but, you know, I'm not going to be using that color probably very often. I mean, you know, if I bought it, I would have to use it, or I'd be wasting money. But I think for this one, I'm just going to use the Testors Aztec Pearl Blue, which is very close in color to it. Now, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay down a base coat of the Pearl Silver first. And then that's what I did for Chevy Cheeseburger's tribute build on the 67 Malibu. I put a silver base down, and then went over it with the Pearl Blue, and it's a blue and silver two-tone anyway. But this will be all blue shot over pearl silver. So, and I think I'm going to do that on video. I've had some guys talk about they have purchased some Aztec colors, and now Michaels is actually carrying the Testors Aztec line of paints, all of them. At least the one that I go to has all of them. They have some neon, some fluorescent colors. They have some opaque colors and some pearl, some really nice pearl color. I have all the pearl colors myself, so I thought I would shoot that on video if I could get some decent light in my paint booth and kind of let you see how they lay down. There's some really nice acrylic paints, and so that's what we're going to be doing. All right. Also going to be coming up in the next build or two. I'm going to be doing the 48, the Revell 48 Ford, and then I think after that probably a pickup. And I'm kind of torn between whether to do a shiny truck or do a rat rod. Not a heavy rat rod, but just I've got a 1-to-1 truck in mind that I saw that I may do. I'm not sure, but at any rate, I want to thank all my subscribers. You guys, man, are great. I appreciate all of the kind words and comments on the Christmas build that I did and my wife helped with. Really appreciate all the nice comments, and I'm up to 700 and some odd subscribers. That's just absolutely great. I never would have thought that I would have that many, but I'm thankful for all you guys, and as long as you keep subscribing, I'll keep making videos and showing you what I have to do. And I think for this year I'm going to be doing some more drag cars and some older cars. I've got a couple of older cars I want to do other than the 48 Ford. So, all right, we're rambling on here, so I'm going to get off here. Until I talk to you again, take care of one another. Keep building. May God bless you and your family. Talk to you.